Hello, my name is Christopher Woodruff, and for this presentation, my group and I decided to work on a marketing proposal for Ford Motors, particularly for their electric vehicles. I decided to choose this topic because my grandmother actually retired from Ford Motors after 40 years, and we see that electric vehicles being the way of the future and something that Ford can improve on going forward. Me again. So, for this presentation, here's what you need to know. We're going to start off with our audience persona, being the CMO of Ford Motor Company, Ford's brand positioning, their brand personality, their brand objectives, the target audience for our marketing proposal, our official marketing proposal, what you need to know, what the risks are of this proposal, and our citations and how we got all this information. For this presentation, we are going to be speaking to Susie Deering, the CMO of Ford Motor Company. Susie was placed as CMO of Ford back in 2021, but not because she worked with Ford previously, but because she wanted to work for Ford. She has a well documented list of companies that she's worked for as the CMO, such as eBay, and she was even the CEO of her own advertising agency in Georgia. In all of her efforts that she has done in the past, she really has brought each company forward, including revitalizing eBay in the marketplace. Um, in a press conference that she had with Forbes, she mentioned that she wanted to make Ford a more personable company for each of their customers, making sure that Ford is always speaking to the customer about what they want and what they need for the lifetime of their car, not just selling you a car and saying goodbye, which is great because who doesn't love a personal touch? She also wanted to make sure that Ford was more forward with the marketing of their electric vehicles. Ford recently opened two large plants in America to work on electric vehicles specifically, which is great because that's exactly what we're marketing toward. Now, with her frustration, it's not a secret that electric vehicles are more expensive for just everyday life. As they are an emerging technology, things may change in the future, but for the time being, it's more expensive, and we'll be aiming to market toward that frustration as well.
For the brand position for Ford in 2021, according to Statista, Ford Motor market share was 12.6%. They are one of the largest US manufacturers in the world. Right now, Ford has strengthened their position as America's number 2 EV brands. In 1990s, Ford had a tagline that says quality is job one, which reflected a core organizational value that was communicated internally to employees and externally to consumers. Today's Ford current brand position is associating its brands and vehicles. The tagline Go Further has helped Ford hold a position against Toyota and Honda as another quality and fuel-efficient choice for automobile buyers. Ford Motors also use a value-based positioning strategy to create emotional and inspirational touch with customers. Since the gas prices are increasing right now, Ford has pushed to go green and sustainable product options. As for the quality is job one focuses on making the quality product, Go Further has made Ford build a fuel-efficient product that allows you to go further.
Hi, I'm Haley, and I'm going to be talking about the brand personality of Ford Motors. So, Ford is known as this American car company, a family company that's accessible to all, especially financially. So, creating quality vehicles that are affordable. So, Ford is also very innovative. They're leaders of change. So they're always growing and adapting with the world, as well as growing with their consumers. For example, creating more vehicles that are environmentally friendly. Ford is also sincere, and they really care about their community, actively trying to limit their obstacles so they can go on adventures and explore the world freely, and pursue their dreams. Ford also has a strong sense of purpose. They're really focused on improving the lives of others, kind of leaving this legacy and trying to make the world a better place for future generations.
Ford's brand objectives. So Ford is a family company that wants to build a better world and create the opportunity for people to pursue their dreams and to get to where they want to be. So Ford's messaging and overall how they present them as a company, they want to inspire others and they want to create a product that can help improve people's lives and overall just show how the company just cares about others in the world and just to make the world a better place. So the Ford company wants to make it easier for their customers to move more freely on the road and get to the destinations that they want to go to. So here's a quote from Jim Farley, the CEO of Ford Motor Company. What makes this company different is that Ford has a higher purpose. We serve others and improve lives. We try to make the world a better place.
Hello. So, when it comes to target audience with the subject of Ford's more prominent move towards electric vehicles, I found through my research that the more so targeted audience would be millennials and older. And there's for a few reasons. Firstly, this demographic is likely to already have a vehicle, and that means they're more likely to have a vehicle in which they'd want to trade in, such as maybe their first car, and then they want to move on to something bigger and better, and that could be a Ford electric vehicle. Um, that included, and this is also possible for younger generations, not to count them out, but I think that they are less likely to be financially stable enough to be able to purchase or lease a new car, especially more expensive ones, such as electric vehicles can be, which they can also be inexpensive. But so those looking to trade in, and they could also be first-time car buyers, such as getting their first vehicle post-college, etc., or just maybe their first vehicle at any age. But I think another big reason for this would be that this is more likely an environmentally conscious demographic. This is likely to be a more mature audience, which I find would lead them to be more involved with electric vehicles. They're going to have higher concerns for global warming, carbon footprint, etc., especially when they're on their own, living their own lives. They'll feel more needed to have their own impact rather than just kind of sitting behind their parents, etc. Which I also think makes a whole lot of sense. And as you can see from this picture, Ford, this is a screenshot captured from the Ford website. This man does not look of the college age or younger, as, for example, he's not quite in class or anything. So, and if you look up at top as well, it says electrified, and that tab is full of electric vehicles. So I think throughout the pictures, and there's more photos that weren't included in this slide, you see a more older audience, not elderly per se, which is not to be counted out either, but more so an older audience that would be more environmentally conscious, more financially stable to trade in and or buy a new car, and those interested in the benefits of electric vehicles because they're going to be more concerned with gas prices, which have been rising, and things such as that, and ways they can make their own difference.
With the rise of electric vehicles going forward, Ford is a great position to use their brand recognition to become the economical choice for electric vehicles. Our proposal going forward is to have Ford have a buyback program for older Ford motor vehicles, anywhere from 5 to 10%, depending on what we could agree with this proposal. This could be seen as upcycling and with a greener image for Ford, seeing that, older cars aren't as economical as they are now. You may love your Mustang from, back in the 80s, but it's not as economical as an all-electric Mustang nowadays. With electric vehicles expected to make up for 45% of the market in 2035, up from 32% in just 8 years, this could be seen as a like a kickstart to a program like that. Be mutually beneficial for consumers, old and new, for Ford. Older customers because they get a newer car with a bigger discount, and newer consumers because they could see that Ford really wants people to be in electric vehicles as they are more economically friendly and less reliant on gas. When it comes to electric vehicles, there's only really only one brand out there, and it's Tesla. Tesla simply dominates the market, especially in the United States. With over 300,000 Teslas being sold in just 2021, it's hard to see another company that's able to produce that sort of marketability in a US scale here. Now, Tesla isn't as big as other brands overseas, but with enough of that market being dominated, there is also room for other competitors, such as Ford, to make noise in the market. Ford has the recognition of over 100 years of dependable vehicles, and we are going to rely on that image and the buyback program to bring Ford to the forefront of American-made electric vehicles. Simply put, the biggest risk going forward with our marketing proposal is the cost of electric vehicles, with more than 13 out of every 20 U.S. consumers believing that electric vehicles are more expensive than their gas-powered counterparts. In comparison, 67% of respondents also believe that electric vehicles are better for the environment than their gas-powered counterparts as well. In January of 2022, there were approximately 46,000 charging stations in the United States, with mostly being in urban areas. This could affect consumers in non-industrial areas, but we believe that going forward, if more people are dependent on electric vehicles, the infrastructure will reflect that as well.